apologize and all that. Hey, I think we're online now. Sorry about that. I feel like your whole rant on that was well, not a rant. It was a really, really interesting talk. It's kind of just been lost to the ether. So
yeah,
actually here
accidental now. Big red button press there. So we are back. So as I was saying before, so basically. No, it's absolutely fine. So what we were just talking about before is that some of the things we were looking to hopefully see out of these coming matches. As you see, we're going to have VRespawn versus... this is going to be... Which have you got the team names?
It's going to be Ignite versus 4 Nova mains. I haven't updated
okay.
it.
Perfect.
There we go. Ignite versus 4 Nova mains.
Great. So we're going to have Ignite versus the 4 Nova mains. And as I was saying before, what we are hoping to see, well, what I'm personally hoping to see in some of these matches that we wouldn't have necessarily seen before, is actually kind of some spawn juggles. So something that a lot of people may not necessarily be aware of in Echo Combat is that when you are defending a point, your respawn timer, if you die, is almost double that of the attacker. So something that what I'm interested in seeing is looking at how the teams are expecting to juggle that, because there are a lot of situations where you can extend your ownership of the point by actually giving the other team it before you engage with them again. So you actually want to give them the point and then fight them so that their spawn delays are much longer than yours. So it'll be really interesting to see if teams are intentionally start juggling it in these games. We're going to go straight into it now, so we're going to see...
Can I real quick ask you to leave the call and get in there again? I think there's a little bit of an issue here, but we are seeing quite a standard setup from the start here. Going into the tunnel, this is a little bit weird. One just going out the back, trying to do a little bit of recon. Pyculia actually maybe trying to go for some kills, but phasing out in the last second. Trying to go in for a little bit. They're just kind of setting up on the point a little bit too fast, I think. Because you don't really need the point before it opens up. In there, you're just kind of exposed, and it shows as 2 people go in and get 2 kills. The last ones are going to be finished off here.
Main's going to take this. I want to think that we are currently watching. So obviously the player names are actually incorrect on the top left and right hand side. So just to be clear, we are looking at Palador, Strembitsky, Getsu, and number 1 Charizard on the 4 Nova mains team. Strembitsky and Palador being 2 of the kind of the best, better Echo Arena players in North America. Palador obviously being on Eclipse, one of the best Echo Arena teams in the world. So we are having some pretty high caliber team play here. Looks like we're going to have some dueling up on the top section here, trying to get dominance over the top half of the map. We're also having quite a lot of fighting in the tunnels so far. Blue team taking a pretty good stand here, but Orange is able to get a wipe, and that is when Blue has the is defending. So it can be quite a long respawn delay for Blue team here. So they should get Orange team back up to the same point. They are able to make a pick, so we're just going to have to see whether or not they can hold this now. I imagine they're going to get 2 Blue pushers, one after the other, with one of their teammates out for the count for a little while now. So it'll be interesting to see if they can hold this. If they can, they should be in a really good position towards the last half of this round. But they're going to start getting taken out here. This is not what they want to be doing. They want to wait till their teammate gets back in to engage, but this is great for 4 Nova mains. They're going to take control at this point whilst being able to get some kills, and hopefully going to even chase down potentially to get some more as well.
I'm just, you are sounding a lot like a robot right now. I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't quite know what's happening. It might be something on your side. I'm not too sure. But I completely agree here. It's Blue is looking very, very strong right now. They have control of the point. They have quite a good control of the point because they're not all on the point, which is sometimes can be very, very difficult to hold if you're all on the point. It's good to have someone on the point at least, because that boosts the capping speed a little bit. But if you don't have anyone on the point, things like this can happen where you kind of don't really have any other opportunity than just going in and hoping for the best, and that does not always work out. It's a 2v2 here. A third coming in just a little bit after, so it's now a 3v3, and this is a little bit bad for Orange here. You get a kill.
Well, no, actually, this is actually not that bad for Orange, because this is the time they want to engage. When the Blue team own the point, that is the perfect time to start fighting. Although it does look like they're going to lose out here, they shouldn't have really capped the point there, I don't think. capping the point when they're in a position where it's kind of a 50-50 whether or not they'll be able to keep it is not a good idea. You need to leave that point open so that you get the shorter respawn timers if it doesn't work out. The only time you want the cap is when you're absolutely sure you will be taking that point for a certain amount of time, at the very least. If you can't have these 50-50 caps, that's not a good idea because you can get taken out and have a massive disadvantage of the added respawn times.
Just trying to fix this real quick. Yeah, Robo Creator, again, going in a lot of Nova play we're seeing here. Robo is, of course, a Meteor main, as he says himself, one of the few ones, and he's very, very good at hitting those shots. He's getting a lot of them actually straight dead on, which is very, very tough to do. But if you get it down, if you get that, it's weird. It kind of retains the momentum of yourself. It's kind of like the disc, but not really, the Meteor shot. But if you get that down, you can really be a beast, because that can that can two-shot anyone. So it is quite a significant weapon to have, especially when there's someone as good as that. But going in, all four.
So you're going to get some big pushes here. They're coming in from the outside, which always puts them at an advantage. When you're trying to fight this section, generally the team that sits on the outside of the, or from the, that comes from the outside space in, is on it with a significant advantage, because you're essentially putting the inner team in a chokehold position. A lot of times what actually teams would be best doing is actually giving up the point and then circling around so they reverse the position that they're in. Kind of ends up being an endless cycle, but if you there is very few instances where teams will be able to hold that point successfully from a full 4-man outside push. So it's good to see. There was kind of a good juggle there of the spawns. I did actually think I saw at least once or twice some intentional people intentionally leaving the point and or kind of giving space where they needed to, because I think that's the main thing that not necessarily everyone does, but I think is a really important part of any major strategy in Echo Combat, is actually giving ground when you need to and letting the enemy team step into you, as opposed to kind of just going at them, because otherwise it just ends up in an endless fight where you're trying to kill each other 24/7. And a lot of the time that's where you'll juggle the point endlessly and nothing will actually get done. So it's good to see at least a little bit of that out of this, but I would like to see some more, because there's been quite a few staggered spawns and kind of one or two people at a time, which I'm not a massive fan of, because if any team plays a really solid 4-man only pushes when they've got 4 people, you will lose out to that, as we saw in the last round.
Yeah, and it's I think the thing you're saying with you have to basically play to people. Ooh, a good one from Pyculia here, coming in from the back, getting a kill for himself, which is quite good. They still get the point for blue team. But yeah, playing or kind of trying to get the opposing team to take some ground, to play into your hands, could be a really, really, really important part, and it is in a lot of FPS games.
Yeah, Robo Creator actually making a very smart decision there, choosing not to cap the point, because he saw that he was in an awkward position whereby if he capped the point, he would then be in a really bad spot to then aggressively fight this later. Blue, again, love this. They're giving space, trying to make some damage, get some damage in here while they can, but not trying to hold the point. This is perfect play from them. But I think that's Palador actually on the rim. No, Getsu on the rim there, doing a great job trying to lay some damage in, trying to set up for the next fight that they're going to want to go in for, which is just coming up now.
Coming up, yes, and we have Getsu with a lot of that pulsar, just going for the kills. He's doing a lot of damage. That shield is perfectly placed, because that means he can do a lot of really good positioning here by Kylia, trying his best to escape. He will get out, but Robo Creator will not be as lucky, and it's a 1v3 here that the orange team has no chance of winning.
That was perfectly balanced by blue team there. When the orange team had the possession, they were just trying to get a couple picks, a little bit damage in there, and then when they had possession and they had a 4-man squad, they went in for the fight. Blue team again leaving one person on the point and holding a wide angle here. Again, a great play from them. Orange is trying to get some damage in, and it does look like they are going to be able to get some kills. There is a really weak member sitting at the back there, so whether or not they're going to be able to capitalize that. And another insta-heal grenade comes out from blue team. They've been juggling those fantastically this round. The last fight they actually won purely based on, I think it was 3 insta-heal grenades back to back that basically saved them completely from the trades, because I think they start off a little bit sketchy with some of those trades, but were able to convert on those with, again, another fantastic insta-heal grenade. Orange is going to be on the point, though. It does sound like they might be able to steal something here. One of the members goes down. Unfortunately, the insta-heal grenades are just completely soaking up all that damage. Does look like they're going to be able to take a point, though. And this is when blue team has the double respawn time because they had possession. So this is great from orange team. team. We're going to have to see whether or not they can keep this up now. They're going to have a little wait on their hands before blue respawns, so it'll be interesting to see how they set up. Looks like they're just going to be sitting in the middle, keeping all their members there. Now, the question is, will they give up space and let orange come into the space and capture it before they fight? That is exactly what they need to do, and it looks like they are doing just that, which is great play from them.
Oh, they are actually going into the point again to try and fight, to try and grab some kills for themselves. A little bit kill hungry. Might be the death of them, as there's only one person in the back to deal with two people. That is not what you want. You want 1v1 or 2v1 engagement. You don't want to be on the other side of that. So they are going out and they're getting killed out, all of them. Only Pykeria here with a shotgun.
Fantastic flank from the blue team there. I think they again, you could see the blue team intentionally not capping the point until after they had won the fight. And that was, again, exactly what you need to do. You win the fight, then you capture. Make sure all the members are dead so they have the maximum respawn times. And they did that twice in this game, and that won them it completely. You can just see how important that is, because that is the difference between basically the amount of time needed to win, essentially. Because you can see 52% orange, 100% blue. That you will basically you are net gaining yourself 10 to 20% every time you stagger the spawns like that, and every time you force them into a double respawn timer because they're defending. So that is a huge part of it, and I think blue team did that perfectly there. They balanced it. They didn't take it when they didn't need to. You could see Getsu and Palador, like, even when they flanked, they intentionally did not go through the point. They went round, and they had a member sat on the other side of the point, still just on the outside of it, so that he intentionally wasn't capping it until after they got the kills, which is perfect play from them. Really, really well done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest here, I expect a lot out of Palador because he has a 100% tournament win rate for Echo Combat. So, I mean, I expect him to try and uphold that a little bit, and he's doing quite a bit of work. I didn't actually see the scoreboard right beforehand, but I saw him do a lot of plays, and I saw him be a central part of it seems like a lot of the call-outs, of course we can't hear the call-outs, but it seems like a lot of the call-outs were made around him, were made around, like, okay, Palador's going in, we're going in, or like, this is now that we're going in.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things as well, watching an Echo Combat game, is that the teams that win will be the teams that make team decisions and play as a team. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is grouped together. They can be spread out across the map, but any kind of decision, okay, we're going to go in now, or we've got someone low, we need to pressure, or they're running out of tacticals, let's go now. The things like that, if you see the full team react to it in some way, shape, or form, then that's a good, really, really good sign.
Yeah, going in actually really boofed up like this is not the best thing you want to do, because insta-heal grenades from blue is really winning them this fight. It's now a 3v2. One seems to manage to get away here, but
insta-heal grenades are just huge again. Like, blue team, they are just soaking up all the damage output by orange. And really, from the orange side, the only way you can counter this is with detonators. You've got to get those insta-kills. The only option is when they are running 3 or 4 man insta-heals, the only thing you can do is Nova's detonators, and literally you just got to insta-kill them. You have to go 2-man attack, insta-kill them. Blue team again here, trying to hold off the point. They are going to go look to capture it now. Orange team is getting on top of them. They might be able to get some kills here. But again, that's the blue team used up a lot of their tacticals very early on, meaning that they then did open themselves up to further engages after that initial fight. So they are trying to hold on to the point now, but they do not want to die. The last thing the blue team wants to do right now is actually die, because they will lose. However, oh my god, no, they're going in now, so they lost the point. As soon as they lose the point, they can then go in, because the amount of time it takes to respawn is less. So, but this isn't looking good for them, because they now have hugely staggered spawns. So their only option really is going to be to try and get some damage in now and try and get some picks from long range without committing too much.
It is, and they are kind of this is going back to a thing that we talked about in the Palo Cup, where we don't want to see people just kind of sitting outside waiting for a pick. Go in and get that pick, because you need to be there fast, because every second you're not in there, you are giving percentage points to the opposing team. This is
a fantastic hold from Orange here, though. Really great hold. I'm loving their positioning. They are denying damage coming in from the blue team out from the front. Blue team's sitting quite far off, which I'm not sure I like. You're not going to be able to provide enough pressure here onto the point. And when they're sitting those spots, this is not going to be great. They've got one person flanking now. Can they capitalize on that? They're going to be able to get a kill here. It doesn't look good though for blue. Orange is still able to get some fantastic hold here. Free floating, unfortunately, a couple of orange plays, but orange are going to hold it. That's a fantastic play from them.
They are doing really, really well. And actually not really doing it with any insta-heal grenades. They're doing it with regular heals and going for detonators, I think. But blue going for another kind of last-ditch push here.
So I would
90-2.
Yeah, so I would actually really like to see Orange give up possession here and retreat and try and save their lives, which I think they're doing now. They really do not want to fight this at all. If they don't fight this, wait. They will have at least 3 or 4 attempts now, whereby they have half the respawn time of the blue team. All they need to do is get one single wipe. So they need to take their time, work around, get a little bit of damage in, try not... to be honest, I'd like to see them go through tunnels at this point. They see 2 members on the other side. They're going to send 2 people into tunnels. 2 people out far to wide to get aggressive here. They don't need to. They can just go straight onto the point here. All they need to do is one capture. So blue team have done a fantastic job of holding off. They got down to 2 members. Insta-heal grenades are going to be coming out left, right, and center. Orange team are going to be able to soak up some damage, but not enough. Blue team are going to do a great hold here. So unfortunately, Orange playing through the tunnels straight into Blue's hands. Instead of that now, I'm going to want to see them come around the outside. The last thing they want to do now, though, is start going through one at a time into tunnels. That's such an awful way to play that. I really hope they kind of hold off a little bit and at least get their full squad, because they still have the respawn times on their side. They're going to go straight in again. They're just going to try and take it, force push here. But blue holding off, getting the picks, and then getting aggressive when they need to. But I mean, these respawn times are huge for blue. So orange, all they need to do is try and trade these. That's all they need to do.
They are... Blue is doing a fantastic job of holding the point by not actually being on the point, but...
Huge pick there, huge pick. Here. So this is perfect for Orange. This should win them the game now, because the respawn times for Blue are going to be so much higher. But the contesting from I believe that is Getsu is huge there. This contesting for them is massive.
Oh, Palador coming in here. Ooh, he gets killed out. It's a 3v4 now. Let's see. The Orange team only has to get a couple of kills to win this. It's 93 versus 64. They only need to hold this for a couple more seconds. 95. Strim gets killed out, and they actually win this game with a fantastic piece of holding. And then at the end there, got in and then just killed and killed and killed and killed until they got the point. Because that was about 1.5 waves of just... They just wanted that point, and they got it. They worked for it. They got it.
Blue played that really well, though. Blue, I have to say, Blue still played that fantastically. They gave up the point. Getsu's holding at the very end. They're giving them a vital couple of seconds, enough to allow his teammates to respawn. I don't think that was punished enough by the blue team there. Sorry, by the orange team. I think that the last man standing when he had the point wasn't able to get aggressive, because obviously you have the added respawn timers. So great position, great kind of kind of pressure there from Getsu and the blue team. But generally speaking, the orange team did a fantastic job of holding that point when they had possession last round. So if they can get another hold like that, it should put them in a really good spot, because the blue team struggled significantly with that last round. So we're going to see if they can get another one of those holds, and whether or not blue team are going to try and come up with some answers. The last time it seemed to be blue team's response was to send someone in a flanking position. So the question is, orange is just going to come straight out here into the open air. This is likely going to be suicide in favor of potentially kind of setting up a point capture. Blue team is all the way far back out. He's almost gets a trade.
I'm not too sure what that was. I think that was an off position that just kind of turned into a chase. So he just needed to get out of there. But Blue is doing their best to try and attack it back. Strambitsky gets a pick, but he does not get picked himself. So it's now a 3v4. Sorry, not 3v1 actually, as they get one of the last kills. And it's the point for Blue.
Yeah, so that was a really good play from Blue there, allowing the other team to get possession first and then taking that off of them whilst getting kills, get some great timers on the respawns there. Looks like we're going to see a death on orange side, which is not what you want to see here. Another one. This is not looking good for them. They need to slow this down. They are currently being staggered. This is really not good. They need to take some time now, get a grip of themselves, and kind of come back as a 4-man team and play ideally from the outside in, because they have 2 people sitting on kind of the balcony up here. They're going to go wide. This is great. I like this play from them. This is really good positioning, but they need to get someone onto the point at the same time as this. Insta-heal grenades coming out left, right, and center from blue team, stoking up a lot of this damage. it's going to be a lot of flanking from both sides and so many eliminations. No one touching the point at all. This is he needs to go and just take the point at this time. Like they just forget the guy. Go take the point.
Oh my god! That was a 1v1 meteor battle that RoboCrater just won out. Just both of those last shots hit, but RoboCrater's hit the body, and Strems just didn't hit anything. So that was close for them. But Orange actually gets this back. Now Blue is on there immediately because they didn't have that many staggered spawn because, as you said, everyone basically died at the same time. So it also means that Orange is in there at the same time, all of them. So it's a 4 on the point, which again, not the best thing in the world, but still they've shown that they can hold this, and they might be able to do it again. Pyculia here in a little bit of a 1v1 gets killed out.
Oh, so that's the sign there. As soon as they get that pick, that's the sign for them to move in. As soon as they get a point of weakness like that, they just go in and they punish it. No holds barred. And every time they've done that so far, they have just really capitalized on the mistakes there. That's the biggest problem here, right? For any team, as soon as one of your players makes a mistake, even just a slight mistake and gets taken out, you immediately get yourself in a huge disadvantaged position. But a massive flank coming out here from Blue Team. They're going to get 2 picks, I think. 2 picks. This is great defense from them. 1 pick, and the other one's proving tricky here. Looks like he might just get away. Oh, this is going to be close. Detonator coming out last. It might be a meteor there, and Blue Team going to hold this successfully. Great timer for Blue Team here. So Orange really needs to just get on and start getting aggressive on for this now.
Yeah, because this is, I think 1 game has already been won for Blue Team, so if they win this one, this will be the final game. They need this game, and they need the next game if they want to go further, and it's not looking good. Now, it's a 2v4 on the point. They are just stalling it, just doing their best, but that's, you want to attack this as a 4-man, and if you don't get to do that, things like this happen. Blue Team wins only 1 round of a potential... Well, on round of 3, because they need to win 1 more to actually win this game. But if they win this game, I'm talking about Blue Team, they will win this whole sort of game thing, and they will go on.
I think that unfortunately for Orange Team there, just one of their teammates got a little bit too aggressive on the positioning when they were defending, and that single pick, that single death, opened the door for the entire Blue Team to capitalize on that. Yeah. And the problem is when you're trying to defend the point in the way that they were doing there, you cannot afford to lose a single man. So it is equally as important to hold further back so you do not lose anyone. And then if anyone makes a mistake, you just have to retreat because you have lost that fight straight up. Yeah. Unless you know for a fact all of their tacticals are down and yours are up, for example, that's like the only exception to that rule. Otherwise, although we're going straight to the next round, missing some great fighting here, some aggressive positioning from Strem, and Orange Team are trying to punish that, but the insta-heal grenades, again, soaking up so much damage. Although Orange player is going to get on top of each other, and a huge double kill here, coming in from, I can't read the name, it is...
Round is now open, so RoboCrater going in there. It's 1v3, and that last blue player is just bailing out. He does not get out in time. Getsu gets killed out. Jersey, I'm gonna have to ask you real quick because you are lagging out a lot. Are you downloading something?
I'm not, and I'm running on a business leased line, so I don't think it's me.
Probably not then. Okay, I'll try and fix this real quick. But yeah, talk along because it's lagging a lot. That's weird. Oh well, I'll fix it. Don't worry.
Okay, it's fine. So it looks like Orange Team again getting in a good hold position here. So what they need to do is they don't need to get too aggressive here. They need to hold back and don't get taken down. A lot of heals coming out from Blue Team. They just need to hold this. They need to get back, play safe. They do not want to get aggressive. And as I say that, players start pushing out, and they are going to be on huge respawn times, which again just opens the door. You see Blue Team coming in and punishing them for that. Again, they keep having 1 or 2 players just getting a bit too aggressive, and that is straight up just losing them these defensive fights here.
I seem to remember from RoboCrater talking that this is basically to not new players, not new to combat, but new to this sort of team environment. 2 of those players, I'm not too sure who they are, but it shows that they aren't as coordinated as a team, and they're relying more on sort of general strategies that you would see in maybe a public game or
Yeah,
things like that.
they are
on the
doing
point.
some good stuff, but I think the problem is on defense again they're gonna lose someone. But if they own the point, then losing one player isn't the end of the world. You can still fight that. The problem is on defense. If you have a single player that dies on defensive push from the other team, that's just suicide essentially. You lose so much time, and you can see blue team great defense here, splitting up, running around, keeping the pressure away from the point, which does enable them to kind of get a really comfortable position here. Very few people are dying. Insta-heal grenades and general healing just coming up pops here. The heals are just such an important part of this game for them. They'd just be doing a huge amount of work. I would love to see the damage and heal stats for both teams, to be honest, because I think the blue team is just the amount of damage being soaked up is great.
They have been doing a lot with those heal grenades, and those insta-heal grenades are really, really powerful, which even now coming out there being staggered like regular heals, but it's not really enough for Orange Team to do anything. I am not too sure what happened here with number 1 Charizard. He just kind of went out, but in the end it doesn't really matter for them as Blue Team gets the win. Okay, I'm gonna really quick see if I can fix this internet because it's sounding like hell over here. So I'll real quick fix that. Sorry if I talked over you. I'll be right back. The stream might cut off. Who knows? I hope it doesn't, but we'll see. We'll see.
Can you guys check in with the match?